That is now 3 straight for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they beat the New York Rangers 5-3. And you look at the last 3 games for the Leafs, they score 7 goals against the Devils, 6 goals against the Florida Panthers, and now 5 again tonight against the New York Rangers. And once again, another controversial hat trick. We'll get to that in a little bit here, guys. But the story of today's game was the Leafs offense, as it has been all season long, and as it has been over the last few games. And we wanted to see this team really go into the break feeling good. So let's move right on to the first period. Not even 3 minutes in. Morgan Rielly with the point shot, tipped in by Patrick Marleau. Gorgeous deflection in front, his 10th goal of the year. The Leafs get out to the early 1-0 lead, and that's exactly what you want to do against a goaltender. Obviously, Henrik Lundqvist was not playing the game today, so you want to be able to get that early goal and put their goalie back on his heels. And the Leafs outshot the Rangers 15-10. In that first period. So the Leafs did everything you asked for, you could have asked for in that period. And you go to the second, and Frederik Andersen, I think we can all agree tonight, was really not his greatest night. We've seen him play a lot better than he did today. And this first goal from the Rangers really suggested that, as it was a point shot, not much screen. Yeah, it did hit Martin Rinson, his back of his leg. However, it did get past Frederik Andersen and hit the back of his leg, or he wasn't making the save. You know, you guys can make the case all you want, but I don't know. Frederik Andersen didn't make the save. It goes off Marinson's leg and into the back of the net, tying the game. And we're like, oh, the momentum was shifted too. The Leafs had the momentum, and that goal just kind of shattered everything. And at the end of 2, it's a 1-1 game. 10-10 shots in the second period, and we head to the third, where this Leafs team has been so good at building third period leads, and they've been so good at, when they score first, winning games. I think they've lost 2 games, one in overtime, or I don't even know if they played a shootout game yet. I think it was just an overtime loss and one regulation loss that the Leafs, when they score first, those are the only games that they've lost. And they're like 17-1-1 or something like that when they score first. They did today. So we go in the third period, and it only takes a minute and a half. And Andreas Johnsson, yeah, everyone thought it was Mitch Marner, because Mitch Marner takes the shot. But, you know, Andreas Johnsson's down on his knees in front of the net, and you look at the replay and all that stuff, it does hit Andreas Johnsson and go into the net. They initially give it to Mitch Marner. Everybody in the arena thinks Mitch Marner gets it. Instead, it's Johnsson, but the Leafs get the lead back. It is now 2-1, like I said, less than 2 minutes into the period. 4 minutes after that, Morgan Rielly, off a beautiful feed from Andreas Johnsson, threading the needle, and Morgan Rielly goes top corner over the blocker, and Leafs get the 2-goal lead, 3-1, and Rielly has his 12th goal of the year. I mean, this guy last year, look, 2 years ago, he was a 30-point guy, 25-point guy, and we're like, yeah, he's decent, but for a 5th overall pick, you want to see him grow. Last year, putting up 50 points, you're like, man, this guy really took that big step this year. And this season, he's leading the league with defensemen in points. I mean, it is incredible. And it's not even close. Thomas Chabot is second at 36, or at least he was coming into the game today. Rielly now has 42. He's got 12 goals, 30 assists for 42 points in 36 games. Morgan Rielly, what a year he's put together. And the Leafs are feeling great. You feel like the momentum's all there, and they're just going to wipe the carpet with the rest of the Rangers here. And things change. Not even a minute after that, Kevin Hayes, you know, this is a play where I'm like, the Leafs got to be harder defensively, because Kevin Hayes is initially with Patrick Marleau, but as Kevin Hayes starts to crash the net, Marleau kind of leaves him alone. Defenseman doesn't pick him up. He's alone back door. And Freddie makes the initial stop, but it gets right to his tape, and he buries it into the empty net, making it a 3-2 game. And we're not even 7 minutes into the third period. There's lots of hockey to be played. It's just a 3-2 game. But oh, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is something else. You know why? John Tavares knocks the puck down. It looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1, but instead, the defender goes all over Tavares because he's bobbling the puck. But Tavares spins and backhand pass, no look pass, to Mitch Marner, and undresses the goaltender, slides it backhand, and a beautiful goal to give the Leafs their 2-goal lead back. Tavares and Johnsson grab assists, and the Leafs got a 4-2 lead. Beautiful. 4 minutes after, though, point shot from Kevin Hayes, tipped in by Chris Kreider, and it is a 4-3 game. They are not going away. And then, with about 20 seconds left, obviously the Rangers are pressuring and everything. Mitch Marner blocks a shot, and he goes away to the races, into the empty net. It's a hat trick for... no, it's not. Everyone thought it was a hat trick because no one realized that Andreas Johnsson got credited for that goal early in the third period. Everyone thought Mitch Marner got it. Even I did until we got told that it got changed. So hats are flying on the ice. So for the second game in a row, there's been a hat trick that Leaf fans in the arena think is happening, but in real fact, it's not. So in hindsight, people who just don't go up and pick their hats, they're basically wasting a hat. Leafs take the 5-3 lead, and that's all she wrote. As the Leafs get the victory, they've now won 3 straight games. They beat the Rangers at home, and now they have 1 game remaining before the Christmas break, and that is tomorrow against the Detroit Red Wings. Look, the Leafs, it felt like for the most part of the game they were dominating play. The Leafs outshot the Rangers 37-27, which is shocking for the fact of when the Leafs outshoot teams, they usually lose. And when they get outshot, they find a way to score 6-7 goals and beat them. Doesn't make much sense. But the script was flipped here, and this is the way it's supposed to look. You get 10 more shots, you get 2 more goals. There you go, the Leafs win, and look at some things that a lot of people don't look at is the face-off dot. And the Leafs today dominated. 32-19 were the face-off wins in favor of the Leafs. 62, almost 63% of the draws were won by the Leafs. And what that does, that just gives you possession right out of the gate. And it changes the entire play. It changes the momentum, the complexity, because you give your team an offensive face-off and win it, you got that zone time. And it's huge for the Leafs. Look, special teams wasn't a big factor in the game. Both teams were 0 for 2. But if you want to find a positive for the Leafs team, look, the penalty killing has been meh this year. It hasn't been great. They're like 20th, I think it is, or hovering around that area. Well, they killed off both Rangers penalties in the game today. The Leafs did have a 4-minute power play at one point because Adam McQuaid's a flippin' idiot. And they couldn't score on that. However, they outshoot the Rangers. In my eyes, they outplay the Rangers. Freddie wasn't great, but the offense stood tall. And they got the job done and got the victory. Now, who stepped it up in the game? Mitch Marner. I mean, absolutely. A 3-point night for him. 2 goals and an assist for Mitch. Let me look at his numbers here. Where is he here? Mitch Marner has 50 points already. We're not even halfway through the year. Do the math. That could be a 100-point season for Mitch Marner in a contract year. Very interesting to see what happens with all that kind of stuff. Andreas Johnsson with a good night, though. He had a 3-point game, 1 goal and 2 assists. Andreas Johnsson now has 16 points on the year. Morgan Riley, like we said, had the goal and an assist. Marlowe with the goal. Tavares with 2 assists. Freddie Goat had an assist in the game today. Good to see him out there getting the job done. And Freddie Anderson, even though he didn't play all that great, got the victory. And the Leafs now improved to 24-10-2. Now, as I said a little bit earlier on, the Leafs wrap up their, I guess, I want to say first half, but Christmas break technically isn't. You guys can say whatever you want about it. The Leafs go into the Christmas break after tomorrow's game against the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit comes to Toronto. 7:30 puck drop at Scotiabank Arena. Jonathan Bernier versus Garrett Sparks are the expected starters. We're assuming that's what it's going to be. And problem for the Leaf fans, Jonathan Bernier, former Leaf. That usually never goes well for the Leafs. You ever see Jonathan Bernier against this team? Yeah, he finds a way to do well. Remember Curtis McElhinney when he played against the Leafs? He did a great job. So this team has to find a way to get on Bernier early and often. This team has been, look, they've scored at least 5 goals in the last 3 games. They scored, let me do the math here, 18 goals in their last 3 games. That's incredible. You got to keep that pace up against the Detroit Red Wings tomorrow night. And to close out this, I guess, informal first half of the regular season, if you have won 4 straight games, and you've won 3 straight at home, you'll feel so much better. And Detroit, there's no excuse but back-to-backs, guys. I don't want to hear it. The reason being, Detroit played today too. And they have to travel to Toronto. We don't, because we're already here. So there's really no excuse when it comes to that game tomorrow night. Garrett Sparks, look, he's up and down like a toilet seat this season. Record of 4-1. I mean, he hasn't been terrible, .284 goals against average on a .913 save percentage. Look, the team has played very well in front of him, but that could also give him confidence. And I've still not bought into Garrett Sparks' play. I still believe that they should have kept Curtis McElhinney around last season, but alas, they did not. And Garrett Sparks is going to be in net against Jonathan Bernier tomorrow. Like I said, guys, you know, Jonathan Bernier against the Leafs, he's a former Leaf. He usually lights them up. And I don't care if he's 5-9 with a 3.38 goals against and an 8.98 save percentage. That is horrendous. But he's playing his former team. So we're going to have to wait and see how that thing plays out tomorrow night, guys. The Leafs just got to light them up and kind of see what happens from there, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys enjoyed today's game today. It was back and forth. It was quite an entertaining game. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What'd you think of the game? Who's your MVP in the game? I think I got to give it to Mitch Marner. He was incredible from start to finish, even though he should have got a hat trick. 2 goals and an assist is not a bad stat line for him whatsoever, and he's been getting some goals lately. You know why? Shooting the puck. That's why. You shoot. You're going to make other teams think, oh, wait, is he actually going to shoot this time? And they'll play the shot. Then the pass is open, and that's what he's so good at. Great to see Mitch Marner getting some goals lately and really getting on the score sheet there. All right, so guys, let me know about the game, the video, all that great stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition. It's probably going to be January 2nd. It has not been physically put in stone. But we will talk to you guys podcast edition. Guys, if you've not followed or subscribed to the podcast channel, that is down below, guys, the podcast channel. And the iTunes link for the podcast is down below, guys. Follow up. Do all that great stuff on there. I really appreciate the support if you guys can do that. Also, guys, Twitter is out down below. Follow up, send me a DM. Do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition very shortly as we expected. No Kawhi, no JV, no Serge Ibaka. The Raptors lose to the Philadelphia 76ers tonight, as we all expected that to happen. But I'll break that down in a little bit. And as for the Buds, guys, like I said, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night as they welcome in the Detroit Red Wings for the final game before the Christmas break, as the Leafs look for their 4th straight victory going into that break. That would be fantastic. We're going to have to wait and see how it goes, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.